Holy crap, you guys really came through with the suggestions of tactics games to try out. I've been playing a ton of them over the last several weeks. And you know the coolest part about discovering a new genre that you love? Instead of playing a 10 out of 10 game like once every couple years, I get to experience the best of the best all at once. It's like Christmas up in here. So yes, I'm still a newbie to everything strategy games have to offer, but I've already noticed loads of fantastic game design that I just have to talk about. So let's dive right in. What struck me right away about this vast sea of tactics games is how diverse they can be. And I'm not just talking about setting, story, or tone. Even in gameplay and mechanics, it seems like no two experiences are alike. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're all turn-based, and you can only move a certain number of spaces to take down your enemy, but how they bend within those rules is pretty captivating. Advance Wars has a health system, where the more damage you take, the less you're able to dish out. But you'll always hit your opponent if you attempt to. Compare this to, say, XCOM Enemy Unknown, where they incorporate hiding behind cover to lower the percentage chance of getting hit at all. But this reciprocates to your foes as well, making you realize that each battle is more about positioning than actual brute force. The annoying thing here is that if an enemy has even just 1 HP left, they'll still do full damage on their turn. Then you have games like Fire Emblem, which add Perma Death to the equation, so you have to think about much more than the current battle. If someone dies early on, you're stuck with a smaller team for the rest of the journey. This leads to decisions that are more calculated and less risky. Maybe I'll hang back an extra turn and heal just to be safe. On top of this, you have roguelites like Invisible Ink and Into the Breach, which have to somehow account for all the procedurally generated obstacles that'll stand in your way. Pit People wants you to plan your entire turn at once instead of one action at a time. SteamWorld Heist is a 2D side-scroller. Final Fantasy Tactics throws in a directional facing system, where you'll have a harder time landing a hit if you attack from the front. The list goes on and on. But what blew me away is that all of these titles make sure their variables are balanced, and they achieve this through many different methods. For example, while I personally prefer games without any randomness to account for, the ones that do have them minimize the potential frustration by allowing the player to move greater distances. In Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, you can team jump to reach those faraway baddies, or use a slide maneuver to deal out extra damage if you happen to be a bit closer. But normally, to ensure a 100% hit on an enemy, you often leave yourself exposed in the process. This is why setting up your squad with extra defense bubbles, or remote control drones to do the dirty work for you are really cool alternatives. Of course, allowing for faster travel has to be carefully considered. As a designer, you don't want the characters to be unstoppable either. This is why some games establish a 2-tiered movement system, and only let you attack if you're within the first one. Invisible Ink takes a very different approach. Here, stealth is the key to survival. On paper, this one looks really brutal because if you get spotted even once, your teammate is immobilized, which usually means your run's about to go belly up. But see, they've ensured you have several rewind charges that set you back to the start of a previous turn, just in case you make a silly, life-threatening mistake. Compare that to Advance Wars, where each individual unit doesn't have that much impact on the overall course of battle. So if you realize you messed up and there was a better course of action, as they say, too bad, so sad. But they make up for that by letting you buy more units to replace the ones you've lost. And the more structures you control, the more money you receive each turn. Your mind is more on the scale of an army taking over the whole battlefield, and less about each specific maneuver. One tactics game that I found especially intriguing was Into the Breach. Because of the smaller scale, it's able to focus on countless moving parts working hand in hand. Every single turn in this game is like its own logic puzzle, where you have to account for each possible outcome. Is this enemy lobbing an attack or shooting in a straight line? If I hit it, will it launch into the civilians next door? What's the order of operations? Will this guy die before he has a chance to hurt me? You're only allowed one reset for the entire encounter, so you need to plan carefully, but it's also extremely clear about what the consequences of your actions will be. As you unlock new team combinations, it might seem like some of them are underpowered because they don't do any damage outright. But you realize environmental effects are just as important as sheer power, like how smoke cancels the next enemy attack, or fire kills them slowly over a couple turns. Because the goal is to simply survive and not take building damage, maybe moving an enemy one square away is the best course of action, instead of trying to tank your way through. In fact, the way you do purchase new squads is by completing achievements, which directly encourage you to experiment with the game's various systems. It actively wants you to see how deep the rabbit hole goes. Ugh, this game is so stinking good. A few other things I've noticed modern iterations improve upon is speed of play and accessibility. As great as some of the classics are, they can be a little slow to get through. And I mean, it's no secret that a level in a tactics game is generally much longer than one in a platformer. That's why it's really cool that games like Wargroove allow you to remove battle animations, or hold right-click to speed up enemy movement. It's always nice when you can get back to the action as fast as you'd like. But further, making sure they're accommodating for all different levels of play is a huge plus in my book. Wargroove's difficulty sliders and Mario Rabbids health boosts are great optional choices for those needing extra help, and are better than picking easy, medium, or hard before you even know what that looks like in practice yet. Sometimes you'll see rookie mistakes only affecting your score or ranking instead of restricting progress. Or sometimes, like an invisible ink, rather than failing a mission after a certain amount of turns, the game simply cranks up the challenge the longer you stay in a level. So it pushes you toward efficiency without overwhelming you, or making you restart altogether. Now, this goes both ways too. Added challenge for those wanting more is also a good idea. Obviously, you can just change the difficulty or give a higher score for playing well, but I really like when there are harder bonus objectives, or other ways to modify how you play for veterans seeking to push their limits. Hilariously, the first time I played Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, I accidentally started the first mission without realizing you could place more units on your team. So I got totally creamed since I only had 2 characters. But I realized this is a neat, though possibly unintentional way to increase the difficulty. You could do challenge runs by limiting your units, or restricting which abilities you can use. The bottom line is that the best tactics games I've seen make you feel clever by figuring out a solution that wasn't explicitly handed to you on a silver platter. And this is accomplished not by lack of instruction, but by giving an abundance of options to succeed. This means that yes, having a variety of classes, locations, and enemy types all with different attributes is great, but it's more about how they interact with each other. So maybe this means in addition to making sure your weapon is strong against the enemies, you move to more difficult terrain as well to lessen their chance of hitting you back. In the Rabid Kong boss fight, he regains health from his hoard of bananas, until you press the button to drop them into the depths below. But in doing so, you'll get pummeled by a retaliation attack. So maybe the drone can be more useful than just fighting from a distance. You could move it onto the button to save yourself some unwanted damage. The best strategy in Into the Breach seems to be blocking enemy spawns by standing on top of them. You only lose 1 HP and then never have to deal with it. But even better if you can move your opponent onto one of those spaces. Not only will it block incoming spawns, but hurt that ugly alien bug as well. Yeah, a 2-for-1 special. Or sure, you could simply push a foe out of range from attacking a building, but instead you could teleport it over some water and drown it immediately. This stuff is genius. The obvious choice isn't always the best one, and finding that sweet spot of a perfect play, man, there's nothing like it. But you see, I think they're designed that way on purpose. By having a ton of choices, you open the doors for creativity to shine. The tricky part is making sure that everything is balanced, and a particular strategy isn't overpowered to win every time. Some games include tide-turning special abilities, but put them on a cooldown, or can only be used once per battle. Others give these skills to important characters that must stay alive in order to be victorious, so you may keep them further behind despite their potential on the front lines. Either way, tactics games thrive by making you think before every action. And because of their slower nature and higher punishment for mistakes, you feel rewarded when you figure out the optimal solution to whatever is thrown your way. Have you ever had those aha moments while playing tactics games? Tell me about your favorite ones and why they stuck with you. What is it about these titles that give you an experience unlike any other genre? Tell me in the comments below and let's talk about it. I have been having the time of my life playing through these games, and I can't wait to see where they'll go next. If there's other genres you'd like a video on that I don't normally cover, be sure to let me know as well, because if they're anything like the broadened horizons tactics games have shown me, I'm all in. Thanks for watching another episode of Good Game Design. I'll see you guys next time. Stay frosty, my friends. Did you know you can wear my stupid face on your t-shirt, sweatshirt, or mug? It's true! We have all kinds of frosty swag over at the Snoman merch store. My personal favorite is the snow globe sunbathing design, but maybe you're more of a tank top person. Hey, we got you covered. If you want to help support the channel and get some awesome gear in the process, this is a fantastic way to do so. I would be honored if you repped your favorite snowman to your friends. Check it out in the description below or go to teespring.com/stores/snowmangaming. Bye-bye!